What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Sum It Up with the Summers. I am Katoya and Damon. We are so excited that y'all are tuning in on this week's episode, The Art of Apologizing and Recovery. The recovery after a bad fight, tiff, spat, whatever you call it. But when the tension rises, how are you recovering? But before we dig into that, I want to say thank you. Thank you for rocking. Thank you for liking, sharing, listening, video watching. We're available everywhere. So wherever you have caught us and connected with us, we appreciate it. And we are still aiming for all of the reviews. So please, 90 seconds, 1 minute and 30 seconds. Yes, 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Believe in yourself. You got it.
That's all we ask. It could even take you less than that, right? So just leave a review. And that's mostly done on Apple Podcasts. We appreciate it. Like and subscribe. And we're going to read a review.
Yeah. Trying to get to 100 in the summertime, baby. This one comes from Ban Rob. Real and refreshing. 5 stars. Knew these folks from college, and it's been great to watch them grow together and their family. This podcast is light, fun, honest, refreshing, and a true glimpse into Black love and the Black family. I tune into every episode and will continue to refer others to this relatable podcast. Appreciate you, Ban Rob. I don't know who you is, but I appreciate you.
Me neither. I'm really somebody.
Ban Rob.
Ban
Rob.
I don't know. But I think with all that black love, they must be black.
I think I might know. I'll tell you after the episode who it might be. Right. Appreciate you though. 90 seconds. We're trying to get to 100. Let's get into this thing.
Appreciate it.
The art of apologizing and the recovery. Whew, we've had we like to be honest with y'all. We like to be vulnerable with y'all. We like to open up. And in the last, 60 days, we've had a few spats. We've had a few tough conversations. Voices have been raised, tears have come. And the art of apologizing and the recovery is something that, we have grown with. We are far from perfect. We are still growing in this because, conflict, shakers, and dwellers, what's up? But it is a journey. It is a process to figure out how to do it well in a committed relationship, right? Because you got two people coming together with different perspectives, different opinions, different backgrounds of what apologies. We've talked about our family background. We apologized differently growing up because y'all did apologize. We did not. But that's also because we didn't talk about anything. And so all this matters when you come.
We had told you all the way down.
They told you down.
And then came back on the other
and
side
brought you back up.
Hey, but I still love you. Do you?
We would have a small thing that would happen, and we would say nothing about it for 20 years. Then we would laugh about it at a family reunion, but I digress. And so apologies.
Ain't neither one of them healthy.
Neither one of them are healthy. So we've had to grow for the last 13 years of marriage into figuring out what works for us, right? Now, we said the art of apology. I think it's good, and I'm intrigued here. We would love to know what you think. But what does not make an apology? I was looking online on Google the other day when I was kind of looking at this. Like, either some words or phrases that you're like, this is not a valid apology, or how it is said, or how it's done. One thing, and I'll say I'm intrigued to hear what you think, and this actually came from a teaching perspective, but I do like it in all perspectives, is somebody said, if you, I'm gonna butcher it a little bit, but like if there's something that's done like publicly, like if it can be done, like give the apology publicly. If it's done privately, give it privately, right? So for example, in a teacher setting, if somebody reprimands a kid and they're wrong publicly in front of all 25 kids, then that apology needs to be done publicly. Don't just pull me to the side after you just said what you said in front of these 25 kids. Same thing at work with your coworkers. Oh, you gonna call me out, boss, in front of the 12 coworkers? Well, you make sure you go ahead with that apology here, right? So for myself, ideally, not always, if something is said maybe via in person, then you try to come back with that text apology, it could hit differently. So that's one thing I think, not necessarily always going to be the case.
I like that though.
Right? But I think it's a building block for an apology.
I also think that very deeply for children. So if you're a parent and
say that. You start with
the
that.
altercation happens with like in front of your children, like you should come and...
Oh, wait. No, to be clear what you're saying. You're talking about talking to kids, you're talking about like if an argument or parents.
I'm saying if the parents have a tiff in front of their children.
Gotcha.
We try to really be protective of that. Like, I think there's a balance. I don't think that they need to think that we are, have some fake facade that my parents were always happy together.
I don't think they think that. But we also.
But no, but our tensions are mostly very. You know how we talked about fighting kindly.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like we're not like we don't explode in front of our children.
No.
But we definitely have had tension in front of our children.
Yes.
And if there's a need for an apology, then I love the idea to make sure that, like, if it happened in front of your kids, make sure you're apologizing. With your mom, I just want to apologize. Me and mom got into this or whatever. I think that's really good, and I like that. It's really
It's just one thing. And just comes to mind where you say this was not your standard of like this is not an apology. If I try to come at you this way, you're like, damn, that's not a legit apology.
Oh, I know. People. Damon too. You are particular with apologies. You're like, well, I don't want to hear that. Like if I try to say certain, sometimes you'll be like, I don't want your apologies.
Oh, that is a layered statement.
Yeah, but you have said that. Like I have. I rarely say something like that though.
I have said it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have said it because there's a context that we don't have time to get into about why I have felt that way.
Yeah, it's all. Yes. It's all based on feelings and such.
Yes. So where you're going somewhere with that? You were going somewhere with that? It's not an apology because
it's not. I don't know. Sorry, the doorbell just rang.
The doorbell just rang. Yes, we have no kids are here, no roommates, and we're like, who's coming at our house on a Sunday at 6 p.m.?
They only rang it once.
One time.
I think
Amazon.
Anyway, Amazon. Probably a package. Anywho, that's
people.
not an
You were talking about people. You said people. Ooh.
Oh. When we were talking about apologies, sometimes sometimes people are particular about the way they receive their apologies, and I think that can be a little difficult. But when we're talking about a relationship, that goes just like last week's episode, talking about you gotta know your partner. Like don't give them a half-ass apology if you know that's not what they're gonna receive well, right? Like. Sometimes I'm thinking like this is a good enough apology, but for this person or for Damon in this moment, it might not be. And that also goes with knowing when to try to apologize. Like there's a timing to everything. So, all that to say, there's an art to apologize with, but also I think if your timing is right, the apology can be right.
Okay, that's a good starting. That's a good stepping stone as well.
Because sometimes when the timing is poor, then nobody wants to receive your apology.
That's fair.
And then now it's difficult because they're not ready to receive.
And I ain't finna apologize twice.
Oh yeah, that would be me.
I'm not finna say I'm sorry twice.
Okay, well I'm about done with this, and we are comfortable enough. I think where I know I personally would be like, I'm giving this now. So if you don't want to talk about it now, let's not talk. But if we're gonna talk about it now, we need to be ready to move forward in this now.
I'm sorry. Is that strong enough of an apology?
No, I don't like I'm sorry.
Like, you don't like I'm sorry as it being
I'm sorry is not an apology.
By itself?
By itself.
Okay.
And I mean, I teach the kids the same thing. I'm like, I'm sorry. Okay, the question is, sorry for what? And I think there's just when you're apologizing, it's about taking responsibility for your actions, right? It's that simple. Now, Damon brought in a school reference, and we've always said that being teachers has made us better parents, better people.
Yeah.
Working at the school that we worked at made us just critical thinkers and just tons of tools.
Yeah.
So we followed conscious discipline, and one of the best ways I know to apologize is the same way I teach the first graders.
Say it.
I don't like it when you blah, 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 blah. Okay, this is not an apology, sorry. Next time, can you? This is just a conversation starter. We literally have this thing called the time machine where the kids will walk on their opposite ends, the offended and the offender. And the offended would actually bring up the conflict. The conflict.
Right.
I don't like it when you did. I didn't like it when you did this. Please don't do this. Next time. No, it's not even please don't. It's next time can you. So you tell them what you would like for them to do
next time
so that it is clear.
Clear.
So in an elementary way.
Yep.
I don't like it when you hit me. Next time, can you keep your hands to yourself?
Boom.
I told you what I don't want you to do to me.
Yeah.
And I have given you the direction to refrain from and like what to do. keep your hands to yourself? Next time, can you tap me on my shoulder? Next time, can you give them what you want? So this teaches the kids to name it. I think the same thing goes for an adult.
Absolutely.
And so then on the other side, they come over and they'll say, yes, or yes, I can do that. Simple. Complicated. Yes, I can. I didn't like it when a lot of times they're ready to come back.
They come back with that second.
I didn't like it when you yelled at me.
Wait a minute.
And then they're like, okay, next time can you keep your voice down or whatever. So that is a simple way. It's not necessarily an apology, but in an adult world, I think it is truly expressing. It's more the communication side. You're not really having to apologize, but you're naming it, telling them what you didn't like, and then they can come back and say, well, I'm sorry that you felt that way. I'm sorry that it came off that way. I will do this next time. But an apology is really about taking the responsibility for yourself and your actions.
For sure. You got to take the responsibility. I don't think it's
Which
a
is
full
why I'm
apology.
sorry it's not good.
I don't think it's a full. I agree. I don't think it's a full apology if they're not taking responsibility for their actions.
By stating it.
Yes.
And saying what can be done.
I'm sorry
different.
for being rude to you. I'm sorry for dropping the ball with making these decisions that yada yada yada. I'm sorry for not doing this. Right? Whatever the case may be.
Right. And of course there is more. You can't negate it. That's the tough thing. I'm sorry for doing this, but next time you got to be mindful about that conjunction there.
Oh, don't try to put too much.
You can't but. Don't negate what you said.
No.
But you can.
So that's good. Stop right there. Don't use a but in an apology. Don't use a but in an apology. That's very true.
No, you can
because
say,
now we're going.
Yeah, I know, but we are adults and we know that everything's not black and white.
Sure.
And it's not just you did it. So but you have to figure out when to what your point is.
Because you're trying to get back. Now you're trying to put energy away from the apology. You got to accept what they take and receive it. Have a pause, right? Have a moment. And we can maybe start a conversation quickly thereafter.
Right.
Or it may take a little time to have another conversation. We talked about this before.
Well, and even from last week's episode saying if you give it 100%, if you both go in and say, you know what, there's something I could have done differently here. And then there's something that you could have done differently here. And if we both come to this problem and take responsibility for what we both contributed to this problem. Because, hey, you both contributed to it. Ooh, no matter what it is.
Somehow, some way.
Like your nagging, your body language, your perception, your silence, your words triggered probably someone else. Now, I'm not saying that, I'm just saying that there is some type of way that we can all come to taking some responsibility. You know what? I could have told you that yesterday.
I think often, I won't say rarely, but often, I think many times it is two-way streets. Rarely, what I will say is that I think it's just one-way streets in a relationship.
Yeah.
In the midst of conflict. And even if it was unintentional, even if it was with good intentions, it still could have a part. And taking zero blame or taking away some of the responsibility. But you gotta always keep in mind these are two people trying to come to two people in a relationship. More times than not, it's a two-way street.
Oh, it always is.
You know, you were right. I could have texted.
Often.
We said something. It was something small the other day.
It was a multiple choice.
But it was extremely often. It was like, I could have texted you about that, and you were like, yeah, I could have told you a day. Like it was something. It was. I
could have mentioned it again.
It was a miscommunication as a team for us, but we both could have. Being in this thing for 16 years, could have made a decision that would have probably helped us as a unit.
Right.
But I think that's good. Don't put the but in the apology. I like that. Do you think you need to ask for forgiveness? Will you forgive me?
Oh, no.
Somebody used to try to teach me that back when I was in middle school. Now make sure you say, will you forgive me?
No. I disagree with that. I do feel like that's something you learn.
Yeah,
But I think that's because that's like an elementary concept. Like, hey, you need to forgive them.
Right.
But I don't think that.
Forgiveness. Mm-hmm.
I think forgiveness is a thing of healing. Honestly, like you can accept somebody's apology, but it might take you a minute to grapple with it. But at the same time, I think that if you move forward, then you're moving forward towards forgiveness, right? Depending on what it is. I mean, there's a sliding scale here, right?
Yeah.
Like big offenses, I might need some time. Small little things, Yeah. Move on. Don't do it again. You know, whatever. Same way you think to do with your children sometimes. Like, ooh. Because some things leave an indention on character.
Ooh, facts.
Right? And so now you question the character. And that's the tough ones, right? Where you're like, I don't even
question
know.
The character.
I don't even know you no more.
Oh!
I don't even, ours aren't even that big, but I could be like, I don't like that you think like that. Like, that's mine.
Question
That's the biggest
character.
thing for me. How you think like that? I'll be like, we on the same wavelength. What? We not.
We are not on the same wavelength. That girl said, question the character.
Yeah. When you run into a bigger problem that now causes your partner to question, like how you working right now. Where you at? You good? You all right? The things Damon thinks I don't say. Anyway, you good? You all right? You know, you need to go see somebody. Like, that's the caring way to think about the character problem. It's like, oh, something's not right here with you. The bad way is, no, he did not. Like, I don't know who you are no more. I don't trust you. You just go straight to the offense to yourself. But the care in these type of character moments, then it's more of a, how can we help you right now?
Yeah.
So I don't really love to cook as the primary cook in this family. However, what I do like is to jazz up the meals when I do cook, right? I'm looking for spices, seasonings, dry rubs, and I found a good place. It is Artisan Dry Goods made by beautiful Briny C. So a little bit of everything to spice up, jazz up your meal. It is a local store right here in Atlanta, but ready to ship out to you all over the world.
Absolutely. And they're legit. I'm going to be honest with you here. Forbes, The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, and Oprah's magazine. And you know Oprah only going to promote the good stuff, all right? So check them out. Instagram, beautiful Briny C. Make your kitchen better, all right? I'm talking about real good ingredients, urban gardens, local farms, so it's good for your taste buds, good for your body. Check them out, and let's get to the episode. All right, so another question. Is it necessary to apologize in a relationship, right? Is it necessary to apologize all the time? I think no. I think there are tears. I believe in tears. And so there are absolute moments when an apology is needed. Then there's times when apology would be helpful, but it's not needed. Like, we've had conflict in the last 3 months where neither person has apologized. And we're going to get into in a moment here just kind of ways, because we're talking about art of apologizing and a little bit of recovery. And so we've used one strategy of just like time and space, and we just move forward, with that. So I think, does an apology needed all the time? I think no. What do you think, though?
I think if you got to talk about it, you need to apologize about it.
What does it mean? Break it down. If you got to talk about it,
if it's a conversation that needs to be had, then it needs to be framed around reconciliation. Like, if it can easily be like dismissed, fine, but it's still something to know that the other person is like offended or not, right? Like one of those awareness things. Like, I probably shouldn't do that. Like, I don't apologize every time I'm running late.
Right. No, this is an example.
I'm late. Like,
she knows that punctuality, it is a personal, it's been that way since I've been 15. It is a top 2 pet peeve for me. Long story about why that is. It is what it is. And
is that a long story? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, my mom used to have me late to football games, and it was just a whole thing. And I was like, I'm not going to be a late person when I'm an adult. Like, it was a whole, like, it just infuriated me, right? Because I had no control. I couldn't drive. So that was just one thing that grinds my gears. Plus, I like events, and I want you to be on time. Anyway, but yeah, she doesn't, and I don't need an apology, right? And it's not, trying to be disrespectful or anything to you, but like, if we're going somewhere and potentially she's one reason why we are behind, I'm not looking for an apology. She's not apologizing, right? Although you may know I'm frustrated, right?
Yeah, I'm just going to try to solve the problem a little better.
Right.
Let me get this map out.
And we're just going to try to move on, right?
Let's be prepared.
So that's a good example, though, right?
I try to like really highlight, they just started.
and I'm like...
I'm like, look, we missed nothing. What are you talking about?
But no, that's a good
Got
piece.
here just fine.
Ooh.
What?
Any hoot.
The fact that you can fake laugh like that, I don't trust you.
Listen, as a bank teller in high school, I became a master of the fake laugh.
I can do it too.
I know. If you worked in customer service.
You think you can do, I can do better.
If you worked in customer service, you better have a good fake laugh.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right, James, you get out of here. Have a good one.
That's so, Diddy. So good. Well, you have a great day.
All right, now. All right, y'all have a good one. Tell mom I say hello. All right?
Next time. Whew. Listen, when we came out of pandemic, I was like, I'm tired.
Oh,
I do not want to have any more small talk with anyone else.
She is anti-small talk right now, guys. She is anti-small talk. This is a tangent. She is anti-small talk right now in her life.
Yeah, girl.
I'm like, give me that small talk, man. Where y'all been? Give me that small talk.
No.
But you gotta have small talk to get to the big talk.
I don't know what talk I want.
I don't know what talk you want.
Maybe none. Maybe I'm there, y'all. Maybe I'm there. Anyway.
So did you agree? You said the apologies needed if reconciliation has to be talked about.
Yeah, I think apologies need to happen if you need to have a conversation.
And if you don't, then let's just keep moving.
Yeah, and right? I mean, what's the apology? I do think we need to talk about like,
what defines
we just talked about like, some rules around apologizing,
yes.
But I think it doesn't always have to be an apology. It just needs to be to recognize the problem.
Sure.
And be like, all right, like sometimes it's just someone's voice being heard, and maybe you don't owe them an apology about it. You didn't even know this was a problem, or something like that. Or,
okay.
Hey, thank you for sharing. Next time I'll try to do a little bit better. It doesn't mean that I'm apologizing. I'm very big on like if it's real, I don't know if I need to apologize to somebody. But if I do think I need to, I will, But at the end of the day, I'm like, that's just how you kind of felt. And I am aware of that. And I'm going to move forward in knowing that for the next time.
There's some validity for sure.
It's the same thing you saying, not every time you need to apologize.
Absolutely. There's an awareness. There's a validness and a validity in what you're saying about the awareness and just the recognizing. Sometimes just being heard, because something can hit you 16 years in. You're like, oh, I didn't really know that. Or, I didn't know it would make you feel that way here. You shared how you feel. Yeah. And now I am going to walk in light of that, because I don't want you frustrated. I want us both to be here. Shout out to the last episode. I want us both here at 100.
Oh, you so at a team? I'm at a team.
All right, so let's do it, right?
And I'm going to leave the door. Okay, I'm just...
I do think there are a few ways, though, when we talk about recovering after these big spats that we use, you probably use here. Time is one. Like just time and space. Like we'll go, if we're here, no kids here for the next 2 weeks, praise be. And if we have a tiff, somebody may go to the living room, somebody may go to the back porch, and you just have literally time,
errand.
Right? I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go to Target. I gotta get some deodorant.
I really do need to go.
We're actually probably gonna go make a run at 7 p.m. with no children because we can. But that's one, right? Time can be a good a moment, right?
It can, yeah. You need time. It just goes back to the beginning. It's just saying that sometimes you have to know the right time to apologize, and maybe the time will let you breathe, and y'all both understand. It's mutual.
Yeah,
we have a lot of those where it's like
we do.
You know you was wrong, I know I was wrong. All right, moving on. Let me give you a hug and kiss, and then
which is another one we do sometimes. You can take this one here. It's getting like you kind of level up. You recognize like a little, not goofiness, but like we get in Bay's space. Like that's what it is. You get in each other's space, and you just kind of you just get right to it. Like it's tense, it's awkward, and then
so we're gonna talk about this,
right? And you just get right in there. At least he'll giggle more times than not. You try to tickle somebody, like just break that tension. That's a big one.
But you can't use none of these too much.
Not too much. You got to know how to pull them out. You got to have a tool belt.
Yeah, you should be.
The Sumners have a tool belt, like Batman. You hear me?
I need to. Bloop.
Oh, she really mad. Okay, well,
this problem is
we
just
ain't gonna
so.
tickle.
Yeah, here's a scale from 0 to 10 here. This problem is at a level 3. Yeah. I am going to try the tickle.
Yes.
Well, they didn't receive that. Put it back.
No.
So maybe I need to try level 5, and that is prepare dinner, put kids to bed. Like there's truth though, and like kind of. And again, those are some of those things that happen with time. And here we are just sitting and talking from 15 years. I'm sure 30, 40, 50-year vets have even more, tools. But these are really good ones. So time, giving some time, getting in it and just kind of being the not necessarily the shaker, but just kind of working toward a quicker reconciliation.
Yes, for sure. And reconciliation is one in itself of letting that person be heard. And this is probably the one where the apology, as you said, if it requires conversation, probably at least one, if not both, people are going to actually apologize. Right.
And apologize is a big word because I really just mean take responsibility. I don't know why I apologize. Like, I'm not always being like, hey, babe. Definitely that, can you forgive me? Like, oh my gosh.
We do not say, can you forgive me? And we do not say usually, I'm sorry. Those are not usually phrases we say.
I think that's why.
And so, like, let's just go ahead.
Apologizing.
We're going to keep apology because that is important as a human being.
But we do.
Apologize.
I mean, I do be like, oh, well, I'm sorry. I'll say I'm sorry for you.
Yeah, and I don't need that. I don't need that. So let's just get rid of
I'm sorry that you feel that way. That's really the only time I say I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you are feeling those feelings.
Do not, if you see me on the streets, do not tell me that. But we do not. That to affirm what you're saying. We
I do
not
say that.
You do, but we do not say it in the other sense.
I do mean it.
Which is true too. So we don't say I'm sorry like that I did this, and we also do not say will you forgive me. But we do hold apologizing in our way important. It is important for reconciliation.
Yeah, whatever way that is, but it's really
conflict.
To me it's acknowledging someone's feelings and acknowledging what you and accepting responsibility.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, you know what, next time I can do this differently.
Absolutely. That's how it goes a lot of times. Right. And then sometimes again on that lower tier you can just ignore it, right? Again, punctuality, the kids are out, I haven't cooked or whatever the case may be. That's, it's just like we're just gonna move on. We all recognize it, we feel it, and let's just move on, turn the music up. And there's a time and place for that. There's tears.
Whew.
There's tears to that. For
sure.
There's
a time and place for all of them, but you cannot do anyone exclusively.
No.
It's just,
and if
doesn't work for the...
If you have, that's probably why you got more conflict.
It don't work for the two belt. Like, different problems require different methods. So, yeah, tell us if you got something to add on to the methods. Because these are just a few that we're throwing out there. But what are some ways that you find productive in your apologizing or resolving you're gonna have a lot more conflict in your relationship if you don't have a strong tool belt to handle reconciliation. You gotta have a variety of tools. If you're just trying to ignore, that ain't gonna work every time. If you always trying to have a deep, intense reconciliation conversation, that ain't needed every time, right? So it's just like, okay, babe, I'm drained by both of them.
Like, all right, we got it. Thank you.
Like, if we only existed in those spaces, I'd just be like, oh, please, no. It's not.
Now, with the recovery, I think we both can agree that one of the things that can make an apology, make the reconciliation difficult, is arguably the downfall of all man. Pride.
Can I get a P? P, you got your P, you got your P. Can I get a R? Yeah, no, pride
is
evil.
I didn't know how prideful I was until I got married, which is a really...
And I was like, hey, guess what? You're a little prideful.
Yeah.
And now I'm prideful. In a whole new way. In a different way. I ain't even apologize.
Ooh. All right, y'all. I see y'all. All right.
Okay.
No, it is. It is real. Pride will have you having one as the offended, right? Pride will have you not wanting to have a opening ear to receive, right?
The victim.
Yeah, all that.
Always the
all
victim.
That. And then as
self-righteous.
All of that. And as the offender, proud to have you feeling too proud to apologize, to initiate the reconciliation. You just be kind of holding off. You're just going to be over here, especially if you're a dweller. We can struggle with that a lot of times with our pride is the slow or the reluctancy to take initiation to reconcile. Yeah. Because we're willing to sit in it. Whereas if you're the shaker and you're like, what are they talking about? Shout out to episode 4, conflict resolution. It's really a thing where it's like, no, this pride has to go down. You got to walk in a little bit of humility to initiate this. And this is a person you love. So if they're finna throw stuff in your face, then that's a whole nother conversation. But if they're willing, desiring, wanting, probably low key expecting, especially if it's something serious for you to come and initiate. Especially as the offender, right?
Yeah, no, I agree with it all. I don't got nothing to add to it.
No, it's good. I mean, timing as well. You talked about that earlier in the episode anyway, about what's going to make it difficult to have a really good apology after a tough fight.
Yeah, pride. And you mentioned, just approaching it with humility for sure. Like, it's a concoction, right? Let your pride go, bring up your humility, and make sure it's a good time. and then maybe these are some ingredients to a better resolve to your conflict, and truly coming and approaching it with taking the responsibility.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you're two people who love each other, and you should want to get back on great graces as fast as possible.
It is true.
Like, that's really, at the end of the day, that's the goal, right? It's like, man, we just had a big fight. Now we home. It's awkward. Like, the goal should be that we destroy the awkwardness. So we need to use one of our tools on our tool belt to make sure we wrap it up.
Yep, I agree.
Bang. There it is. The art of apologizing, baby, plus the recovery out here. It's not a game. Conflict is going to be waiting around every corner.
Yeah, I mean, and then once you, like, break through that crud.
Get through that crud.
You just feel so much better. You're like, oh my gosh, look, I love you. And now we can go into those. See, that's a turn on.
That's a turn on. Bang.
Like, ooh,
okay.
Ooh, look at us. We back on track, right?
Reconciling.
Let's move on.
Little makeup.
Okay.
Little makeup. We can do it.
I can love you in the shower.
We're going to do a series. We're going to do a series. I'm thinking August.
Actually, I'm thinking we're going to do it in
August. New game in up. Oh, okay.
This is a game, y'all.
Okay.
This is my heart right
this
here.
This is it.
I love you.
You got a bass. Stay ready. Ooh, listen. We finna jam out. We finna go handle some business. You make sure you...
Oh. Listen, if y'all don't know that...
Man, you don't know that...
That's classic.
That's top 5 all time for Damon Summer.
112?
112. Anywhere. Look it up. Look it up. When you listen to this, go home, save it.
That send me back to 16.
Send it to the Bay. Send it to the SO.
Boom, boom,
tonight.
Boom.
We playing this tonight.
Because that's what happens after you apologize.
If you did it right.
Boom.
And make sure you do it right. We got to get out of here, man. Hope you listen. Hope you got some value. You keep doing that all the way to the out here. Again, we're trying to get to 100 reviews. Apple Podcasts, 90 seconds. Throw it down. We would so appreciate it. Thank y'all so much for listening. Damon and Katoya, summing up with the Summoners. Talk soon.